So this is the last student art exhibition that would be in the gallery. The exhibition closed about 2 days ago. I always have to remind my students that the work accepted in the show is not necessarily the best work that was presented to the judge, but it's a particular preference of the judge. The same process is true for all art exhibitions that are juried. All of our students are getting a taste of the professional world, and the professional world is as fair as the world is. A lot of my students say, before I took your class, I never knew I had any ability for art. And I never considered myself an artist. But now I feel actually I do have the talent. Suddenly my students who have come for other technical educations or other fields realize that they can actually draw and draw very well. That whole experience of being able to produce art, to look at a blank white page, and then 2 hours later to look at the same page and see a work of art that a student produced has made my students become far more attentive to art around them. And very many of them have become more attentive to visual language altogether. So I've had many students who come and say, I never look at the TV programs or TV ads the same way again.
Figured out where you're gonna go yet?
Me?
Yeah.
I have to wait to see what happens to me.
I took your advice, and I figured might as well shoot for more than one area. Better the odds, you know what I mean?
That's my theory.
I'll just go wherever you go. So when you decide, I'll decide.
Okay, if I go to Santa Rosa, you're going to be coming to Sonoma State?
Taking classes in Hawaii, I've never had a teacher that's actually, cared as much. Taking her class, I've really, learned to really think about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm showing it to people, thinking outside the box, not just like, oh, I'm gonna paint a tree and a landscape, I'm gonna paint something I actually want to say something with that might actually mean something, or I'm trying to bring a point across. So, I mean, just, taking these few classes with her has completely changed the way I've thought and looked at, art, outside, even at home doing paintings and stuff. I sit there and think about, what am I trying to do? How am I trying to say it?
So what are you going to do with this? Honestly.
You want to say it on camera?
That's my piece dedicated to the president of MJC, the chancellor, and everybody involved in the cut.
So why are you so mad at them?
I just think it's bullshit, and I thought, you can do a piece subtly. You can have it be metaphorical or things like that. Have to give someone something to think about as they're looking at it. But I thought, well, why not just be in your face? You don't have to think about it. You're gonna get it as soon as you look at it. There's no question about it.
Okay.
That's why I did it.
The only thing I'm going to tell you is when you, my own preference as an artist, and it's something I always think about. When I am making an art about an issue, I actually try to broaden it to cover a broader range of concepts so it will not historically date itself. Right. That is going to be probably, next fall everybody starts business as usual. Right. But you could actually extract what it is about. Some people might argue that this budget cuts is a necessary evil. Right. But there is more to it that actually angers you. Yeah. And this is basically, is it what you're giving them, or is it what you feel they are giving you?
That's true.
So you
yeah,
have to
it could go
clarify
either
that.
way.
Or
Yeah.
is it the both ways communication?
Right, I get you. That's good, yeah.
Kind of got irritated and angry, and you know, it's just kind of bullshit what people can do and what they do just because of money. You know, they don't even try to take the steps towards, you know, figuring out how to keep something around. It's just, nope, let's take it out. You know, we need different money. We're not even gonna put an effort into keeping things around. You know, this is, you know, the simple way of doing it, so goodbye. I think it's, you know, garbage, because you can always learn more, you know. Anybody. I don't care if you could be the greatest artist in the world and you can always learn something. So it's just sad.
My name is Chad Redwing, and I thank you for the time to address the board as a professor of humanities. That which precedes all other forms of knowledge is the liberal arts. Our division is part of the oldest intellectual pursuit in human history. The first evidence we have that Homo sapiens think deeply is 35,000-year-old cave paintings, as well as prehistoric dance and sculpture. A Cisco executive recently suggested that our real problem is that we suffer from a national innovation deficit and an unwillingness to make long-term bets. America's leadership class is forged in the kiln of our colleges, yet we are denying them the skill set they need to innovatively solve problems. This is why the Arts, Humanities, and Communications Division cannot be dismantled. We are a coherent and ancient intellectual and aesthetic pursuit. I ask you to support our division's efforts to forge students who have the creativity, communication skills, and flexibility of mind to solve the problems of today and to confront the bigger yet unknown dilemmas of tomorrow.
As far as I speculate, he had his own agenda. He came and took one of the most viable programs, which was art, which all of our classes were transferable. Our students showed a high level of success college-wide in all classes they took. Two of our courses, Art Appreciation and Basic Drawings, were amongst the top 25 highest FTESs for college. That means that they brought really good level of state apportionment funding to the college. There were no criteria that he had given before that could fit the art. Dr. Lowenstein, who in his initial interview to Modesto B had said the arts are the gateway to college, decided to attack our whole entire division by eliminating mass comm and eliminating journalism. 3 areas that specifically involved free speech.
People are looking at, you know, art and things like that, and a gallery as not being very important. Like, you don't need it to do anything, you know what I mean? Which is bad, because if you're taking away these, you know, I guess cultural things and things like that, that you're gonna basically create a bunch of robots. You know what I mean? They have no way of thinking outside the box. No, you know, you're taking away people's creativity and telling them, I guess, kind of that it's not important or it's wrong, or, you know, it's childish, I guess. You know, that's kind of what I'm getting from it, which is sad, because, you know, not everybody wants to be a math teacher. And you know what I mean? Like, some people want to actually do something creative and believe that it is, you know, a possible thing to do, you know, bring images and color and actual, you know, thought process and give you something to actually think about.
You know, one of the reasons you haven't heard about photography is because I think that we're kind of collateral damage. I'm not sure people realize that photography was going to be, that's okay. I'm not sure that people knew that photography was going to be cut. We have 5 part-time instructors right now, and they teach about 65% of the classes that we offer. We usually offer about 15 classes. Next semester it's going to be cut down to 3 to 4. That means there's a difference of about 175 students that can be served, and we have wait lists every semester anyway. So there's a loss there of just serving students in general. But the big thing is this photography program is a place that people hang out. And this is a place where people that may often not have a reason to stay in college, they come here, and not everybody, but they often end up making contacts here that carry them through 3 and 4 years, and it keeps them in college to where they finally do finish their program. This is considered an activities, it's a humanities class, and sometimes people grab onto those before they grab onto their other career academic classes as well. All right, so anyway, here we are in the black and white darkroom, and people are making enlargements out of those negatives that I showed you before. This is all a black and white darkroom. It was originally put in the 1970s, over here separated from the art department. This is the same historical process you might see in the 1800s, people working with these kinds of materials, maybe not making 8x10 photographs out of 35mm film, but fairly close. They learn to slow down a little bit and appreciate what they've done as far as image making, and they appreciate the tonalities that they're working with, little subtleties that you really don't get when you're working quickly in the digital medium. Digital is great. I work digitally and with film both, and so have our students. They become pretty dedicated to one or the other most of the time, but it's real healthy for them to cross over. And next semester, as I mentioned, I'm going to be the only instructor here. So many of the students you see who would like to come back won't be able to come back next semester and continue their studies. One of the sad things about that, the saddest thing for me, is I've worked hard as a coordinator of a photography program to gather a good cadre of instructors, of part-time instructors, for the benefit of our students. And they are intellectually onto it, they're gathering their own gallery career work, and go ahead. And they're just a group that will add to these guys' careers, the students' careers, through contacts in the Bay Area, which is really a great job market, and especially for fine art. I mean, we provide job skills for people. People are out there photographing weddings, people are doing portraits, people are assisting other full-time photographers right now out of this department. But in addition to that, we are an art department, and we all know that the fine arts in Modesto, while they're thriving in some ways, they're not exactly giving people stardom. And to get that, you need to go to the big cities. No, it's accessible. We should be building this department larger and larger. It's been very difficult with only one full-time instructor to begin with, but now that we're losing our 5 part-time instructors, it's going to be even more difficult to keep this going.
I think with every work of art, documentaries included, there comes a responsibility. Ultimately, how you edit this documentary represents what you have gathered, and ultimately your point of view. The idea of fair and balanced journalism is a mythology. I think every human being has a point of view, and every human being has the right to exercise their point of view in their artistic production and stand by it and defend it.